Yeah, this could be a hidden aspect of yourself that you want to recover from or heal from. This is like a shadow aspect, Seven of Swords, and this is all mind stuff. Swords represent knowledge, wisdom, understanding, thoughts, the mind. So there may be a decision that you were avoiding, or there was an aspect of yourself that you didn't want to look at, and therefore it's just kind of stagnated. And I get the sense that you're ready to heal from that and move on. Seven of Swords, they're both looking at this Two of Swords figure headed towards it. So it's kind of like saying the decision is coming. You're ready to look at it and you're ready to face it, even though maybe in the past you haven't been. Something's telling me that you're willing to look at a certain way of thinking that has been either underhanded or shady, or an aspect of yourself that you want to let go of, and heal from and recover from. A way of thinking that takes you away from these choppy waters. It's like things that stir things up, and then to the smooth, calm horizon. There's a quote that this is reminding me of, Aries, and it says, when muddy waters are left to settle, they become clear. And so there's a certain aspect of the way that you think that you've outgrown. And it really creates chaos and friction in your world. But I get the sense that you are taking yourself away from that in the beginning of November, Aries. It's really interesting. It's really an opportunity to look at things differently. And one of the things that these two cards share in common, Seven of Swords and Hangman in reverse here, is that they can be looked at as criminals. But the thing about Hangman in reverse is that he's seeing things from a different point of view. He's getting a different perspective. And even though he may be looked at by society as someone who is being punished or has criminal behavior, he's actually getting very enlightened. And I see you going from Seven of Swords to this Hangman. The only thing that can trip you up, and it might be part of what's happening here with the Two of Swords, is worrying too much about what other people think. Because Hangman marches to the beat of his own drum. He does things in his own unique, eccentric way, and he gets a 180 perspective because he's willing to just be himself and honor himself just as he is. So when it's in reverse, it's saying, what are you doing? What is it that you are not accepting about yourself and not allowing yourself to heal from? It's almost like you have to acknowledge this about yourself in order to face it and heal from it. So there's something going on, Aries, beginning of the month, where you're getting some real clarity, actually, about something that you want to release about yourself, and you're kind of like tiptoeing up to facing it, to letting it go and moving on, and realizing that any of this behavior or thinking, or I'll just call it low-level thinking maybe, or fear-based behavior, actions, thinking, fear-based thinking, feeling like I have to get what's mine, me behavior. You're addressing that, and you're seeing that it only creates chaos and friction for you. So you're moving on and healing from that. It's a cool opportunity at the beginning of November. And I actually get the sense, too, that with Jupiter in Scorpio, it's bringing stuff up from the depths. And you're really ready to think about it, face it, and heal and recover from it. So that's kind of interesting, Aries. Let's see what else is going on for you. In the middle of the month, we've got King of Coins and Page of Wands sitting together there in reverse. And then we've got Ace of Swords in reverse, along with Knight of Swords. And then we have Seven of Cups with Queen of Swords in reverse, Eight of Cups in reverse, and High Priestess in reverse. So towards the mid half to the end of the month, you've got some cards in reverse, which shows me that there may be some fear, doubt, or resistance to experiencing those energies fully. And it may be because you're going through some sort of change, recovery, healing process. So if things feel towards the end of November like things are just sort of under the surface, it may be because you're dredging up things from that 8th house, like especially with that new moon in Scorpio. I'm getting that's happening right around here. Some truths are coming up that you may not want to face. That's also in line with this 2 of Swords. But give yourself a break, Aries, because you are actively trying to sort of clean out the closet or clean out, it's clean out the old skeletons, clean out that way of thinking that is not serving you. You're actually you have an opportunity to do some nice work here at the beginning of November, and you could sort of maybe give yourself a break towards the second half of November, because you're working on going from a place of friction in your thinking to somewhere smoother. And so if things feel murky, pause and let them clear. Just like that quote that I had said earlier, is that when murky waters are left to rest, they become clear. So this will become clear as you work on, this is all Swords energy, so it's all having to do with your thoughts. This truth, Ace of Swords, new beginning, new way of thinking, victory, triumph, clarity, comes in, revelation, aha moment, comes in as you take this blindfold off and are willing to confront your avoidance of addressing certain ways of thinking. And you're doing that actively, actually. You're actually, at the beginning of November, you have this opportunity to really address that. And I really see that that's your leading theme for November, is healing from that, recovering from that, going from this place to a new place where it's calm and where there is victory and triumph and clear thinking. So kind of give yourself a break, but do the work. Take the action of confronting what those different options are that you have, and see if you can let go of any, I'll just call this stinking thinking, negative thinking, me behavior, cutting corners, feeling, it's really scarcity-based thinking. He's stealing those 5 swords away because he thinks that he won't be able to get any otherwise. And he thinks nobody's seeing him, but it's very obvious what he's doing. So you're only creating chaos for yourself in doing that, but I really see that you're ready to move on from chaotic waters to smoother shores. So for whatever that's worth, that's beginning of November. And don't worry about what everybody else thinks. You're getting some enlightenment and some new perspectives at the beginning of the month. And then the middle of the month, you have King of Coins and Page of Wands, and sort of towards the end of the month, Queen of Swords. This is like a royal court here. All different elements, fire, earth, and air. So those could be fire, earth, and air signs, potentially. And it's really related to the choices that you're making. So this may be, like, I'm kind of saying for some of you, it may be family that's surrounding you and is not supporting you in the different choices that you're considering. But I see you having a clear purpose and moving in your own direction, especially as you get this new perspective. And I'm going to encourage you, Aries, to trust your intuition with this. Get quiet, because you're ready to move on from something by the end of the month. This is 7 of Cups, and this is 8 of Cups. So this tells me, especially with this new moon here, you're seeing what your options are before you. This is 7 of Cups, which means, multiple options. And regardless of what all these others think, they're all in reverse. So they're all seeing things separately from you in a different way. But you're moving from 7 of Cups, seeing your options, to 8 of Cups, moving on. So I'm seeing that around that new moon, maybe a little bit after the new moon. But follow your thinking here. You really, Knight is quite advanced. Knight of Swords from 6 of Swords, Seven of Swords, Two of Swords. You've done some work on your thinking that you actually have this aha moment, even if you're trying not to see it. Somehow the truth is being revealed to you in the middle of the month about something, even if it's a truth that you don't really want to see, because it's in reverse. And this causes you to have thinking that takes you forward. This actually gives you a lot of courage, Aries. And you're naturally a courageous sign anyway, but this is like, okay, now I have this purpose. Now I know what I think. I know what I want. I'm courageous enough to go after it. All I have to do is A, B, and C. He's very logical. He's very analytical. He's very clear in his thinking. And it's because it's following this Ace of Swords, Victory of the Truth card. Even if it's a truth that you know, when I see this card in the reverse, I sometimes say, I'm trying not to hear that. It's a truth that you recognize, but you don't really want to integrate it. You don't really want to admit it necessarily, but it's taking you forward. And it's helping you identify what your choices are. And you may move on from something. You may end a cycle. I kind of get the sense you may be leaving a group of people here. They may want you to stay, or they may think that you're supposed to do something differently than what you're choosing, but you've gotten your own perspective about this. In November, you're releasing, or you have the opportunity to release what other people think and being hung up on that, and follow your own thinking, your own purpose, and to really trust in your own intuition. This is saying that you really have the knowledge inside. That's what that scroll on her lap is about, Aries, is that you have an inner knowing. You just have to trust it, and you have to listen to it. You have to get quiet. Because these people, this could even be you, the younger side of you, Aries, as the Page of Fire, and these could be like parental figures or a couple, you know, that runs a company that you work for, or you're seeing lots of options here. And this is a card of dreams. This is a card of imagination, of fantasy. This is like what could be, and what do I want, and what's sparkling, what captures my attention, what am I infatuated with, what catches my eye. And I see you actually saying, you know what, there's more out there for me. There's a whole nother world. I've put a lot of time and attention and energy into this thing, but I'm ready to go on to the next thing. And I'm not really worrying anymore about what these people think. So I really encourage you, Aries, to, at the beginning of November, address what it is, if there's any part of your thinking that feels fear-based, that feels like, I've got to get what's mine, and you don't even want to like look at that, but you realize it's causing you problems and you want to heal from that. If there's anything you want to heal or recover from, especially in terms of your thinking, really getting a new perspective and like casting off worries about what anyone else thinks is really going to give you an aha moment, connect you with the truth, even if it's a difficult truth, and give you purpose, give you clarity on what your choices are and how to move forward about it, regardless of what any other people have to say that might be negative, that might share different perspectives from you. And the more you trust that inner knowing and that inner clarity also that's related to this Ace of Swords, you know, this is knowing. Both of these cards are about knowing. This is the Truth card and this is the Inner Knowing card. See how they both are wearing crowns? That's really going to take you forward, Aries. So it's really about this month, your thinking, and eradicating and healing from and recovering from anything that doesn't serve you in terms of listening to others more than yourself. And through that, identifying what it is that you think and going forward on a path that affects your choices, saying, okay, this is what's before me. I'm not really listening to the peanut gallery. I'm going to go on this next trip that's going to take me further. There's more out there for me, is really what I'm getting for a lot of you, Aries. But you're going to have to clear through this first and heal or recover